Hey gang, Mark Zona. You know, one of the great times of year, and you know this, is when the bass start spawning. Males and big females start floating around, and a lot of us, we get locked in to throwing small, compact baits when we're sight fishing. One thing that I want you to try this year is throwing a topwater at bedding fish. One of the reasons why you can stay, number one, you could stay off of them. And the topwater baits that I choose are topwater baits, number one, that I could keep in their strike zone, the radius of the bed, for a long time. A Popping Perch and a Pad Perch are two baits that I have both of these tied on at all times. The other thing is, look, I'd love to use a Sexy Dog or a KVD Splash, but we all know this, a lot of big bass want to spawn around cover, whether it's brush, logs, lily pads, grass. And the great thing about this, number one, they're very weedless. Number two, I can use artillery, 50-pound braid, 65-pound braid. And the other great thing about it is when you open up I've taped so many Zona shows with these, when you tie them out and you throw them out, you don't have to trick them up. They walk perfectly. And what I want out of a topwater bait for bedding bass is to keep it in their zone, in their radius, a very long time. The last question that I always get is, when do you pick one over the other? And it's almost impossible for me to actually answer that, because there's certain days they want more of a commotion, they want more sound out of a Popping Perch. A lot of times that's when maybe there's a little bit of wind, but there's other times, and you know this, that bedding fish, maybe early in the morning, they're spooky, they're fidgety, where they want that Pad Perch, which it's almost mesmerizing how quiet this is, but yet how violent the strikes will be. You almost need to let the bass tell you, do they want some more sound, more commotion, or do they want it just that real subtle walk? And the other thing about fishing this, and this is where topwater fishing for bedded bass is so great. Number one, you could stay off of them. And the other thing is, when you're throwing this, truly some of the best spawn fishing days have come on a Popping Perch and a Pad Perch the last few years.